The other big story of the weekend is a tragic one, and that is the passing of Adam Johnson, who died after getting skate to the throat in a Nottingham Sheffield game in the Elite Ice Hockey League in England. We offer our condolences to the friends and the family and the teammates of Adam Johnson, the entire Nottingham Panthers organization, and that entire league. And I also think about Matt Petgrave, who was the player whose skate accidentally caught Adam Johnson in the throat. What Matt Petgrave is carrying right now and may have to carry, depending on what type of support and therapy and whatever he ends up getting here, he's going to be carrying this for a long, long time, and it has to feel awful. I hope that he is able to find peace with himself through all of this. But it has raised the question of mandatory neck guards. Now, let me was texting with a player last night and this morning. Let me read this to you. So, so I sent this player a note last night. Why are guys so hesitant to wear any kind of neck protection? We all know that whenever there's a new piece of equipment that's introduced, whether it's helmets after the Bill Masterton tragedy, whether it's visors, whether it's anything, players push back. Nope, not going to do it. You can't tell us what to do. This is what this player writes back. And again, I get it. It's only one player. He says, for some it's uncomfortable. Others might be a cool thing. For me, it was just learned behavior. Once you're no longer mandated, it's out of sight, out of mind. I wore one for a couple of months after I got stitches on my throat. Then after the season ended, I just didn't anymore. It wasn't a conscious decision. I just never thought to do it. I wonder if only the way this is going to happen, some type of mandatory neck guard, and I'll tell you why I think it's important, other than the obvious, to try to save lives. We've all seen Richard Zednick and the horrible Clint Malarchuk, Steve Tuttle incident back in that Buffalo-St. Louis game. I think maybe the only way you're going to get this done through the Players Association, who will push back, is to have it grandfathered in. Not unlike visors, right? Not unlike helmets. This might be the only way that this happens. And the reason that I think it's important to do, one, obviously to protect players. Clint Malarchuk, Richard Zednick, and now the tragedy that is the Adam Johnson situation. Does it happen often? No. Of course it doesn't happen often, thankfully. We have seen players' wrists slashed. We've seen ankles slashed. Anywhere there's exposed skin, it's really dangerous, obviously. And I think those areas of the body need to be protected. But one of the reasons why I think that this needs to be a serious conversation, and I hope that this part of the conversation is taken seriously and is part of the conversation. And when this conversation is being had at the NHL, the NHL Players Association, and with equipment manufacturers as well, is, Maddie, I got a lot of direct messages and I got some tweets as well from people who were at the game, who had to see that. And we talk about what Matt Petgrave is going through. And again, I hope he finds support and peace. And what Adam Johnson's family is going through, and his friends are going through, and teammates are going through. But also the fans at the game had to watch that.
Yeah.
And I think one of the questions you ask yourself is, even though it's so infrequent that it happens, do you want your fans to see that? We think of Brittany Cecil in that Columbus game with the Ebsen Knutson shot that hit her at Nationwide Arena and killed her. And right after the NHL mandated nets behind the nets above the glass. And that changed profoundly. Those are the Brittany Cecil nets that exist to this day and will forever exist to protect fans. I think we also need to protect fans from seeing that again. All those fans that were at the Nottingham Sheffield game saw someone die in a hockey game from a skate to the throat. And I hope in the conversation about neck protection that fans have a voice in it, because nobody goes to a hockey game and wants to see anything like that. Are there injuries in hockey? Yes. Is it dangerous? Yes. People come to see hits knowing that the effects could be devastating. But that is part of the game. This isn't. And athletes need to be protected. And their families need to be protected from having this happen to their loved ones. And fans need to be protected from having to watch that. I watched the video yesterday and it's horrifying. I would encourage anyone right now listening, if you haven't seen the video, don't. It's awful. It's terrible. Maddie, I don't know if you've watched it, but it's one of the worst things I've ever seen. It's terrible. And getting messages from people that were in attendance, I can't help but thinking to myself, we can't, even though it is a freak injury and a freak accident, we can't allow that to happen at hockey games anywhere. Youth hockey, minor hockey, junior. I know that they're not mandated in the United States, but if there can be at least some type of movement now that Adam Johnson has passed away, to make neck guards and neck protection and significant cut-resistant neck protection mandatory, it's clearly time. Because now there's a body count. Condolences to Adam Johnson's family, his friends, the Nottingham Panthers, not just the organization, but the entire hockey league, and to hockey fans everywhere. And I hope this is a conversation that's taken seriously. And again, I hope that fans' eyeballs and their brains and what they had to watch during that game are taken into the conversation.